Hello all. So I've not done a video for a few days, so I thought I'd do another one today. I'm just leaving a Living with Self-Harm course that I've just done through the Greater Manchester Mental Health Recovery Academy. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's something that the Greater Manchester Mental Health have set up to help people to recover, as well as to train professionals in recovering as well, in working with people recovering as well. So today, like I said, it's been about self-harm, and it's been quite an eye-opener because when everyone sees self-harm, they put the stigma to it of being cutting yourself or doing silly things, whereas self-harm's a lot more than that, as many of you will know. Like myself, for instance, my self-harm isn't cutting, my self-harm isn't substance abuse or alcohol or anything like that. Mine is full force punching and kicking and hitting myself. Mainly the punching and hitting. I will punch myself in the head so much that I've almost knocked myself out a few times. I will smack my head off inanimate objects and things. And I also take it out my legs too. So I stabbed myself with forks, I've stabbed myself with knives in my leg, I've punched myself full force in my legs to cause myself more pain and discomfort. I've done it to a point where I've taken my legs from underneath myself and I've ended up on the floor laying agony or knocking myself out as I've done so. So as you can imagine, it's something that I'm quite close with and I was looking forward to doing. So I've been on this course today. I've enjoyed every minute of it, I'll be honest, because I've met new people, heard about new circumstances, new techniques, not techniques, wrong word to use, new recovery options and ways to cope with the stigma of self-harming. So my last bout of self-harming was 2-3 days ago, and I don't know if I've said this before, I think I have, but I've taken to hiding my self-harming. I don't do my self-harming in front of people, I try not to. I don't tell people I've done it until days or weeks after, and I don't publicise it or broadcast it. So it's not an attention-seeking thing, as many would claim. It's not the first time I've heard you're seeking for attention, you're looking for attention, why are you doing that? You just want to get someone's appeal or someone's acceptance for you. It's not what I do. I self-harm to get memories out of my head. I self-harm to get flashbacks away from me. I self-harm to cope with the general stress of life and what happens and how it happens. It's not the easiest thing. Everyone copes with life differently. Mine has always been to take it on myself. It's not just that. There's not a day goes by that at least one or two thoughts come in my head of I hate me, I hate myself, I'm not worthy, I'm not worth anything, I don't deserve to have people in my life, and I don't deserve to be treated nice or cared for. We all know why that is. It all goes back to my childhood and my self-worthiness, but I do it. It is as it is. Anyway, so when we talk about self-harm, many people will say, as I said before, it's an attention-seeking thing, or it's something for you to release by cutting or hitting. But how many people actually talk about recovering from it? How many people talking about getting better and living with it rather than against it? It's not very much out there, and then when you do, it's always slated or talked about badly. I mean, I was watching a podcast once. No, it's alright, I was watching a YouTube video once of a TED Talk, and there's a lass from America talking about her husband's self-harming. How she never knew it was happening for many years, as most don't. And then when it was happening, and when she was talking about it, she was getting scared, so she'd scream at him, she'd shout at him. she'd threaten him, she'd tell him that it's over if he carries on. She'd monitor him constantly, she'd treat him like a baby, just to make sure that he's not going to go and do it once more. He's not going to go and cut himself, he's not going to go and bruise himself or hit himself. And in the end she ended up losing him. And that's pretty much a story you see around. You see a lot of it. I know, because I've experienced it myself. I once dated a lass who was self-harming, but she was for attention. And I know this, being in the position now where I've had my own self-harming and doing it. I know she was attention seeking, but I still abandoned her, and I left her in a position that made it worse. And I should have done it tactfully, I should have done it differently, but I didn't. She turned around to me and says, if you leave me I'm going to kill myself, I've just slit my wrist. My response was, I can't cope with this, goodbye. Could I handle it differently? Yeah. Could I have made the position better? Probably. But that's all I knew, and that's all others know. Sorry, I'm rambling on here, but we'll get to the point immediately. Get to the point soon even, should I say. So yeah, so I've seen it from both sides, I've experienced it from both sides, and I know it's a really hard thing to deal with. But where does it sit with mental health? That's where you need to be questioning. Is it mental health in itself, or is it a by-proxy of mental health? Is it something that comes along with mental health conditions? Me, PTSD, anxiety, depression. I hit myself to get things out of my head. I hit myself to cope with day-to-day life. But someone who has claimed that they've not got any problems with them or any ill health, chances are they'll be drinking alcohol, they will be taking recreational drugs, and not realising that they're doing that for the same reason. They'll just put that as, it's a general thing, it's something I do. So, is it mental health, or is it a general lifestyle? Is it a lifestyle choice? It's one question that nobody can answer. I can't even answer that one. I know this. I struggle to answer a lot of things, but that one is one that I know I'll never get answers for. So all we can do is just put up with it. What can we? That's where everything else comes into effect. Where our lifestyle, our personality, our self-control, our self-preservation, it all comes in handy in one person. But it doesn't mean I'm going to stop. It doesn't mean I'm going to be recovered and not self-harm. It doesn't mean I'm going to never have them thoughts or feelings, never have the desire to hurt myself, to kill myself, to put myself in comas, or anything else that I've tried to do to myself. I'm never going to come away from that, and I've made peace with that. I just wish everyone else could with me, but obviously that comes with time. So anyway, where was I going with this? Yeah, so obviously I'm interested in finding out what other people's opinions are on it, and anyone wants to comment or feel free to message me. I'm quite happy to take anything like that, and I would obviously like for people to talk about me and share my experiences. So anyway, that's obviously what I've been doing today. But let me tell you what I've been up to this weekend. This weekend was my partner's birthday. It was my sister's birthday. So we had to celebrate it somehow. Now usually when it comes to birthdays and celebrations and parties and anything like that, that's not me. I'm hiding away. I don't drink, I don't do any recreational drugs, I'm practically a teetotal with the majority of stuff. My drug is food. I love my food. But this weekend I decided I picked my sister up and we all had a nice little party, should I say. And my girlfriend had some beers, my sister had some beers, and I had some beers myself. But then I forgot my tablets. I had no tablets at all yesterday, and I've not taken any today so far. And right now, I'll tell a lie, I took that. So, no tablets on Saturday. I had a night tablet yesterday, but at 2 o'clock this morning, not at 10 o'clock last night like I should have. And I've had no antidepressant this morning. So right now, my head is so battered and destroyed, How the hell I got through that course, I have no idea. But I did. And I did it well too. And I'm happy I've done that well. I really am. Because not so long ago, I would have had a meltdown, I would have crashed, I wouldn't have been here to talk now. My phone probably would have got shattered in 1,000 pieces if I'm honest. Because I wouldn't have been able to cope with the course that I've done today. I wouldn't have been able to get through it. So I must be on the way to recovery at one point or the other. So that's a good thing. But in the meantime, where does it leave me in regards to the unstableness? I don't want to be on pills forever. I don't want to be dosing myself up every day and living on the stuff that I don't want to be living on, basically. That's not me. I like my lifestyle. I like having a life. I don't want to be depressed and anxious for years. So what can I do to cope that? This is where my next challenge is. I'm looking at recovery channels, I'm looking at courses, sessions, I'm looking at anything that can help me, but I'm also looking at any ways I can help others. I'm doing it a twofer, so I'm building my way through slowly. I'm getting there. But I must be on the right direction for how I've been today. I must be. I hope I am anyway. I know I'm just rambling on, I'm just talking away and saying random stuff and stuff's coming out. I hope you can make some sense of it, or more sense than I can usually. But I just wanted to have a little ramble and tell you where I'm at and what I've been up to. Now, another problem with PTSD, depression, anxiety, or anything that's told is what is in a diagnosis. This has been one of my biggest gripes for a while. This has been something that every time I go to classes like this, doesn't help, but it does open my eyes a bit. What is in a diagnosis? My diagnosis is PTSD. Why? I had a traumatic childhood. I went through things that no child should have gone through, all through my childhood. Well, through the majority of it. From as far as I can remember, all the way through till, well, even today, there's still things I should never have gone through, but I have. So that's PTSD, that's what they call it. Now, sticking with PTSD, you automatically assume, no, it's for soldiers, no, it's for the army, no, it's for someone who's been on combat. It's not. It's for anyone who's experienced a bad time. But then, how do they know it's PTSD that's causing my problems and my emotions? What are my other symptoms? I can go through a day and I can have many different emotions. It can range from like 20 to 1,000. I can be up one minute and down the next and not even realise. I can wake up one morning and not feel the same person I went to bed as. I can have my breakdown and then come out smiling 20 minutes later. So what would you say that diagnosis? Is it PTSD? Is it anxiety? Is it depression? Oh wait, no, this PSD. Is it PSD? No. BPD in it. Borderline personality disorder. There's personality disorders, different ones. There's bipolar. Bipolar I've had a diagnosis of twice, and then it's been brushed under the carpet, or so to speak, or it's just vanished and another one's come along. It's only because I've come out about my past now and come out about my childhood over this last year that I've got the latest PTSD one. Before that, I've had everything thrown at me. But I've also had nothing thrown at me as well, and I'm just told to grow up, there's nothing wrong with you. And then I've sat there many times and I've sat thinking, why? I speak to someone, oh, I've got borderline personality disorder. Oh, I've got bipolar. I've had that for 10 years. I've had that for 15 years. And then there's me thinking, I've had many different diagnoses and them all taken away from me in 20 years. So what's the difference with me? Is it because of my stubbornness? Is it because I am strong-willed? Is it because I carry on with life no matter what it throws at me? Is it because I've learned to live with my demons, live with the things that I get? Is it because I've learned to live with the emotions and hide them? Who knows? But you try and get a health professional or someone to actually sit down and listen to you from everything that you want to get out, many hours. Someone that you feel comfortable with, to opening up and being honest. It's extremely hard. So it scares me how people can get diagnoses and keep them for 15 years when I can reach every trait of, so I can reach a lot of the traits of the mental health problems that most people have. Schizophrenia, or it's got a different name for it now, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. There's another one. I can be nice as pie to you 1 minute, and I can just switch the next, and I can be an aggressive person. Doesn't mean I'm going to hit you, doesn't mean I'm going to punch you. No, that's not me. It just means I'm going to look like I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to do it to myself when I get home. Because that's what I do. If I started taking my anger that I take out on myself and others, I wouldn't be sat here talking to you right now. I wouldn't be driving down this road. Chances are I'd be in one of the HMPs, being fed by Sodexo, being let out on a yard 2 hours a day, sat in a room for the rest of the time with many people who just want to look at you funny and punch you. And that's not me judging, that's me knowing. But I'm not in prison, because my anger goes on me, and that's the way I've always done it. So I cope now. I accept. I cope. I've got this false face that nobody ever sees a real me if I don't want them to. I've had that for many years. The amount of times I've heard, oh look, there's the real Steve. He's happy, bubbly, he's chatty, he's laughing, he's joking. Is that the real me? Or is the down and depressed person the real me? Or is the angry person the real me? Who am I? What is the real me? Does anyone know? Because if I don't know, then sure as hell damned if anyone else could tell me. But I learned to live with it. And that's what it's all about. It's acceptance, learning to live with your problems, learning to live with your fears, learning to live with your troubles. That's what recovery is. Recovery isn't being fixed. Oh look, a magic pill. Wow, I'm not that person anymore. That's not recovery. Recovery is, wow, I went through all that. I want to talk to you about that now. Can you listen? That's recovery. That's what recovery is all about. Express yourself. Talk about your problems. Talk about your issues. Talk about why you're here. Talk about what mental health is. Talk about what fears you have and what stigmas. But who do you talk to? That's the question. I have many people who will listen to me now. Did you understand me? Some of the time. Did they judge me? Probably most of the time. That's in my head, that's what I believe. Whether they do or not, I don't know, but that's in my head. But they listen, and I'm grateful for listeners. I will tell my story to anyone who wants to listen to it now. And it's fun just seeing some of the faces. How many people can you look at into your face and say, yeah, well, I've got depression. I want to die. And they won't turn around and say, what? You know, the shock, the look in the eyes is like, crap, what now? Then you get the others who, I've got depression. No, you haven't, suck it up, you just need a pint. No, I've got depression, I need to die. No, you don't. Come on, we'll go pub. I get that. But that's how people take each other, that's how people take themselves. They acknowledge that there is something there, they acknowledge that there's a problem, but they try to self-medicate the way they can. So, like I said, where do you get this profession that can sit and listen to you? Where is there someone who's dedicated to you that's not getting paid by the hour to tell you what you want to hear? Where is the person who will just sit there, listen to your story, listen to you tell everybody or tell a single person what is going on and where your head's at, and who can give a right diagnosis? Anyone know? Because I'd like to meet them. But I'd imagine they are a very busy person right now. So how else do we get diagnoses? How else do you get a diagnosis? How else do you get to understand where you're at and what you're doing? How else do you get to not have the label, but to have somebody who's willing to work with the label and get the correct care in this world? Because it's hard to get the right care. Like I said, I go to a doctor, I'm depressed, I'm anxious. Here's some tablets. I go to that same doctor, doctor, these tablets are making me worse, these tablets are making me unwell. Take these tablets. I go to him again, doctor, I'm now really depressed, I'm now really down, I now really want to die. Every day is not a day goes by, I don't want to die. Okay, I've upped your medication now, go and speak to this guy next door. It's another mental health thing. Speaks to the guy next door. I don't know what to do with you. You're too much for me. I can't handle this. I've got to refer you to a hospital. You'll hear from him in 6 to 8 weeks, and you'll get an appointment in 6 to 9 months. Wait, what? I'm telling you I want to die now. You're telling me I can get seen in 9 months. How does that work? Just does. Right, so there we go. So then I accepts that. I gets on this referral list. In the meantime, I'm taking tablets and overdosing myself. I'm beating 10 tons of crap out of my head. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling nervous. I want to die. I don't want to live this life. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't deserve to be here anymore. I don't deserve to experience what I experience. But I'll do it because I have to. So then you go to the doctors again. Right, doctor, well, let me tell you what's happened. I've hurt myself. I've done this, I've done that. Why didn't you go to the crisis team? Because it's the last thing on my mind. Why am I going to go to the crisis team when I don't want to speak to anyone? I've come here to tell you because I know I need help. Okay, he says, well, here's the list of numbers, ring them. I will chase see how far you're getting on your referral. Here's some more medication. They like the tablets, the doctors do. So then it goes off. John goes off, goes back to him a week later. Doctor, I can't do this, I'm really struggling. I was trying to go to work, I couldn't do it, I want to die. Right, okay, well, we'll just have to wait for referral, here's more tablets. So then I stopped going. Until I got pushed to go one day. One day I woke up. I beat my head up so much, I knocked myself unconscious. How long for, I couldn't tell you. But I was home alone, and I did it. I know I was unconscious. I went to a doctor. Right, well, I'm self-harmed, I'm not myself unconscious. The doctor's eyes lit up. Not in excitement, but in like, crap, what now? He panics, his bottom lip's quivering, he's like, I've got to get you an ambulance, I've got to get you an ambulance, I've got to get you to the crisis team now. Noah says, don't waste an ambulance on me. Yes, you need an ambulance. No, ambulances are for people who need them. I don't need an ambulance. I walked here, I can walk there. Who will go with you? I'll drive on my own. No, don't do that. I'll get you an ambulance. I had to reassure him that I will get there and somebody will take me. Didn't. I drove. Don't get me wrong, my dad came with me because I had to go get him. But I drove there. I drive there, I'm in the car park, goes in, and goes into the accident emergency. Why are you here? Well, I've been told to come in by my doctor because I've got depression and I want to die. Okay, go and sit over there. 2 hours later, nurse calls me, why are you here? Tells her, oh, alright, go in that room there. An hour later, finally, someone from crisis team comes to talk to me. And then I just show up. I didn't want to talk, I didn't want to express myself, I didn't want to tell them what's going on, so I just told them bare minimums. So then I got put on a on a home-based treatment team. Whereas if I was honest, if I'd have told them exactly how I was, chances are I'd have been in a hospital bed instead. But I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to lose anything. I'm afraid. Still afraid now. So that's how I got into this, and that's how I got towards my diagnosis. Through a caseworker, not through a social worker or through a psychiatrist. So, like I say, diagnoses, I don't believe in. I don't think they're anything. The only thing a diagnosis looks good on is a PIP form when you're trying to get some money because you know you can't work. Or an ESA form. But how do I know I'm diagnosed right? How do I know I have the right diagnosis? With my PTSD and also impending court cases, they can't exactly send me to a psychologist, and the psychologists sit there for weeks on end listening to me waffle shit and say about, well, that. Or I can't exactly go into all these emotions and say I've got this, and this, because nobody will sit and listen to me. So I've got to wait now for over a year and a half, maybe 2 years, for this court case to actually get into court before I can get help with me and get my proper diagnosis. In the meantime, I've got to hinder on PTSD. So the reason why I'm telling you all this is not because I want pity, not because I want a diagnosis or anything like that. It's to tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing now, why I'm attending recovery colleges, why I'm attending various training courses, social well-being, stuff like that. Why I'm pushing myself to shadow and work and volunteer with other companies who deal with health and well-being. Not because I want to do it for the sake of getting a status on the CV, but because they help me as much as I help them. I understand what's going on with me and what's happened, and I am able to cope with what's happened more. And that is my recovery. That is where I am. So I always recommend do a bit of that. Anyway, thank you for listening to me. I'm grateful if you can share, and obviously share any comments or suggestions. But thank you for your time, and I'll see you again soon.